Tonight we're welcoming Mary Bue to the show. Mary, we're so happy to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you both.
Wonderful.
Very good. Go
Tell us
ahead.
where you're coming to us from today.
I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh,
Excellent.
wow.
Now, are
Did
you having weather up that way or no?
It's pretty chill today, a little windy, a little blustery, but it was like 65 and then it went to 20. And yeah, it's kind of like hovering in this like spring situation. Yeah,
Yes.
almost spring. Yeah.
I can't
we might
decide
have
what it
traded
wants to be.
places. Yeah, we might have traded places with you.
Crazy
Okay.
weather in Nebraska. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. We're going to jump right into all things music with you, Mary, and tell us what led you to become a musician. How did you get into this career?
Wow. Many winding roads. But really it was always my dream as a teenager, in junior high. I began piano lessons in fourth grade. My mom was a pianist and she was really involved in the church and she was like the music director. And she hates this story, but she bribed me to take piano lessons because she had this dream of having a daughter who would play piano and so that I got $75 a year in fourth grade. It was in one chunk, it was a big chunk of change back then. And so I took piano lessons from a neighbor from fourth through eighth grade. And I kind of got what I thought my ego needed at that time. And then started like in eighth grade, I really wanted to play electric guitar. I was like really into grunge and like loved like Nirvana and Juliana Hatfield and Belly and Smashing Pumpkins. So I
Very
like
cool.
found my way into guitar and started songwriting around just like really adolescent poetry. Um, but then I had my first concert at a local. I grew up in a really small town in Minnesota called Princeton. It's about 4,000 people. And there was thankfully, a coffee shop in town in the late mid 90s. And so I had my first show in the coffee shop, but it was all like covers. And then I had my first real show of original music when I was 17 in Duluth. I moved
Okay.
to Duluth for college. So, and now I'm 43. So it's quarter of a century. I've just put out my ninth album, but music has been like my one love and constant. And it's been like here and there and second guessing and different paths and trying other work. But it's always come back to that, like that, everything like intertwines with it. So,
I
yeah.
That's
was
very,
asked
very cool.
I was actually going to ask you about the ninth studio album. Tell us about the process of making that and all of the things about it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's called The Wildness of Living and Dying and just released on February 7th. So it's still pretty
Yeah.
fresh. And oh my God. Well, it was an interesting one to make because previously, except for my like very first album, a lot of the songs in previous records were written at different times and then like maybe I wrote a song in 2005 and then it's going on the album that came out in 2020 or different time frames, but this one all of the songs were written in between 2020 and 2023,
Okay.
so it has like a cohesiveness to it. I worked with the same producer that I worked with on my last record. His name's Steve Price, and he is a pretty rad, like indie rock legend in Minneapolis. He plays in the band The Suburbs, and
Oh,
he was in a major label band called Rex Daisy in the 90s. Anyway, he's like a music therapist in a way. He's really comfortable and down to earth and funny and yeah, very easy to be around. So we hashed it out and brought in the same band as the last record, and the songs are kind of it runs like it has an arc, like kind of a trajectory. Like I love an album as full like a full journey, that like I love
uh-huh.
like the album as a piece, as like a work, rather
Hmm.
because now it's like so many singles and like the singles stand alone, but then can the album like actually have a story? So I worked really hard to like create this like arc with it has like an energetic lift and then kind of a breakdown. So very
That's
conscious.
That's really cool. It's like the albums from when we were growing up. They all kind of follow that same pattern with the arc, like you said. I love that idea because it is true. Now you're hit a lot with people's singles, but you don't get that full storytelling experience as much. So that's
Right.
fantastic. I love that.
I love the album too. So I've
Thank you so
listened to it
much.
since it came out. Yes.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for listening. That means so
Yes.
much to me. You just never
Yes,
know, like, wow, people in Nebraska are listening to this. What? That's
We
so
are.
cool.
yes, we are.
Thank
What would
you.
what would you say is your writing process? How would you see a song from start to finish?
That has changed over the years. It's different now. I used to write like stream of consciousness poetry. I have like stacks of journals of just like brain drain, like poems. And so previously I would take like the poems and sit at my piano and kind of like fiddle around and find like very kind of like an intuitive flow to it that is hard to explain, but just like finding words or a grouping of lyrics and just kind of starting to sing with like a melody and an energy. So some of the songs on this album are like that, but then like the song Right Now, the third track, that was a poem. That was a poem, but my guitar player, Jeremy Ilvasacker, he, not mine, but our guitar playing friend on the record, he plays with many amazing bands. He was like, Mary, why don't you just write a song that has one chord for once? Just like for once, So I like attempted to do that with that song. It ended up being kind of three chords, but just in this sort of like rambling, almost like Bob Dylan Desolation
Yeah.
Row style. So yeah, I feel like piano has a different voice for a song than guitar. Like my writing with guitar songs is more like it feels more succinct and just like simple in a way because I'm not like as technical a guitar player. Like I can play keyboard. But piano, I have like a little more that I can do. So those get a little more ethereal and like technical in a way. But yeah, so it's like very poetic voice, more passion. Well, they're all passion and drama, but a little more like in that elegance field with the piano and the little more punk indie with the guitar. So
Yep.
yeah.
No, that makes total
Great
sense.
question.
What do you do when you get stuck writing a song? How do you get unstuck?
Ooh, take a break. Yeah, I'm in this release cycle. I think like I do some creativity mentoring with people and I have to like apply it to myself too. Like you probably know about the Artist's Way book by Julie
Yes. Yes.
Cameron.
Yep.
So I do like her stuff. Like that whole book is about removing blockages to our creativity
Yep.
and like what is creating this blockage? Am I uninspired? Is it my inner critic? Like what is going on? So like I was a psychology major in college, so I really do, and I'm a yoga teacher, so I like look at the mind and like what is the like what is actually happening here? But like I also believe that we have seasons, and especially there's like the season right now of like releasing this album. The album is done. Like I'm trying to put all this energy into like getting it out there. But now it's like the songs have been written, and now that book is kind of closed in a way. And now there's like a little fresh stuff coming in. But I do have so many little snippets of songs in my voice memos, like probably 150 in there. Just like things I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Meh," like singing like a goat into the phone. But like, so like I'm waiting to go to those, but those like will take, I love when a song just drops in. So I kind of like wait for that. But I know that that isn't always like we need to like make space for songs. But I think like taking breaks and doing other stuff when we're stuck and like trying not to get so fixated on it because I think taking a couple days and resting, like letting the dreams come or like letting it percolate for a while because there's so much happening below the surface.
Yep. I love that you said that you talked about Seasons, and you mentioned The Artist's Way, because I've picked that book up at least 3 times, and I've made it like part of the way through, and then I'm like, I'm not ready for this, and I put it aside. So it's on my shelf. Maybe you're my inspiration to starting
yes.
it.
Do it. Do the whole thing for real.
I'll get
and
one
like
for
that's
Bethany
what she'll
too.
say too is like, yes, Bethany, like do it together. Start a group with your people.
I love it.
Like if you have like the support and you're all going through it and you all are avoiding it too, but then it's like, I don't know. She talks about the resistance.
Oh, yes. And I have, resisted several times. So I feel like this is inspirational. That's great.
And we have talked about this too lately, is that we write a lot of lyrics, but we're learning instruments. So we have kind of gotten into that place where we have a block right now. We've just had a hard time. We write together and we have a hard time just sitting down and making the time for it. And I think part of it is the resistance. It's I'm just putting it aside right now and making time for other things, but I want to be making time for writing. So I love that. And yes, we will be reading that together.
Yes. I think I have at least one copy, if not 2.
Do it. Let me know. Cause like if you do a Zoom, like maybe I'll do it with you too.
That would be amazing.
Do it again.
So
that would be amazing.
Let's make a thing of that.
All right.
So this is kind of along that vein. What do you draw inspiration from when you're writing music or lyrics?
So many things. I'm grateful that it's shifted because my early albums were really all about like heartbreak and just like just sad, like desperate, not all of them, but just like lamenting some like heartbroken scenario. And there's still that going on. I just had a breakup, but but now I've like branched out and I've had some like unfortunate traumatic things happen in my life, as we all have. And so I've been able to write about those things. I've written about my sexual assault. This new album was about a really crazy carjacking experience that happened in 2020. So yeah, I've written about like more like things like traumatic things that have happened to me, but also like in a global way because these things happen to so many people. I've written some songs about animal cruelty and like the environment. And I write about nature and dreams and travel and yogic concepts sometimes. So it's turned more from very personal, sentimental heartbreak to like, thankfully a little more things that can, the heartbreak is everyone goes through it, the heartbreak is so relatable. And also there's so much else going on in the world. So like, I'm happy that I've branched out a little bit.
That's kind of like the seasons, going back to the seasons again, or seasons of your writing. I love that.
Yeah. And I think it's so good for listeners to hear your music and, other people who, really tap into kind of that universality of like, we've all gone through this, but, it's, as a listener, it's great to be able to be like, oh, I can identify with that because I may have had something like that before. So I think that's super important. So we're glad that you're sharing that with everybody.
Yes. I think that's what makes music so magical because of how it affects all of us in different ways. It's awesome. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
How would you?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just one last thought on like, I feel like there are some songs that are so specific to the person writing them, all the way down to like, I'm going to this coffee shop. This is the name of the coffee shop. This is the name of the person that I'm meeting there. This is the like flavor of my latte, whatever, that it's like, it kind of remove, it's like, okay, that's your story, but like how like, it's relatable, but it's like so specific. So I do intentionally try to have more, I don't know if it's euphemism would be the right word, or more just like not be so specific in the actual detail of the thing that it can be like applied to other people's experience. Yeah.
More universal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
I think you just muted.
I
Yeah, you
muted
knew
because
that.
there were dogs barking.
Oh,
Sorry.
no problem.
How would you describe your music? How would you describe your sound to people who hadn't heard you before?
Ooh, that's so hard. I'm like the elevator pitch. I'm like the worst. I'm the worst. I'm gonna pull from the Minneapolis Star Tribune. They said I was an indie rock poet. And I like that a lot because my music's very lyric based. And so it's like piano, pop, folk, Americana, a little bit of punk. But it's so hard. Like it's
Yeah,
so
to pin yourself down. Yeah, you're like,
how would you describe it? No.
I mean, I would say indie for sure. Indie. I don't, and definitely poetry. Like it always comes
Yeah.
back to the lyrics, poetry. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So indie rock
So,
poet.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I think
Yeah,
I
take it
like
to
that
Chris
too.
Riemann Schneider.
Yeah, I like the poetry aspect of it too. I think, and again, it goes back to where you can relate to it. When you read poetry, you find those things in it that mean something to you. And I think
Yeah,
that's definitely your music. I love that.
I agree.
When you are not doing music, what else do you like to do? I know you are a yogi. What else do you like to do?
Oh my gosh. So many things. I have an insatiable desire to do so many things. So I love to travel, and I've been so grateful that music and yoga have been able to become my work because I host international retreats. I just got back from
Very cool.
India a week ago, like just over a week ago. So I co-hosted a retreat in India for 14 days.
That's
And
awesome.
so I love to travel. I love to see other realms and how people live, and both with like touring and like being able to teach. I am a runner. I run like a 5K almost every day. I love
Nice.
dancing. I love reading and painting. And yeah, there's so many things that I want to explore. I want to explore more languages, and I love playing instruments, and I'm kind of an instrument hoarder. Like I got a sitar in India in 2020.
Oh, how cool.
And I've like
Yeah.
dabbled in like high school. I was like, I'm gonna take trumpet, I'm gonna take drums, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
harp, but I didn't pursue those deeply because everything takes time. But yeah, there's so much to do.
I
Yes.
know. I know. I love that because I think we are the same. And maybe
Yep.
why our writing has kind of gone by the wayside because we do so many other things. We're going to
Yep.
concerts. I'm an interpreter, so I'm working on shows right now. I'm doing a bunch of Broadway
Sign
shows that I
language?
interpret. Yeah. So
It's so cool.
it's a crazy, amazing job, but right now it's a little stressful, but it's good.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah,
All right.
it's definitely rewarding, but
Yes. I mean, and we
very good.
paint and we, draw and,
Yeah, and I'm
do
a
all the,
runner too, so
yep.
I get
So
that.
Let's hang out.
But you're not that far from us.
that's true. You're not that far from us.
Where in
No,
Nebraska are you again?
we're
Omaha.
Omaha.
I love Omaha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, next time you come, if you ever come here to play, we're gonna
I
Oh
come.
have
gosh,
It'll
that'd
be
be
before.
fun.
It's
amazing.
been a long time, but I think
Yeah.
was it Barley Tap Room?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, yep,
Yes.
yep.
It's
Wow, my memory.
it's
How did
still
I
there,
remember?
but it's called something else now. I
Okay,
can't,
cool.
but it's
Yeah,
still
that was
there.
10 years ago, but it's
very cool. Well, come back and see us for sure.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna start asking our big four. And you've already answered part of the first one, which was what was your first gig? So you already answered that, but the second part of that question is what was your best gig or your favorite gig?
So
Oh,
far.
wow.
Yeah, so far. That's right.
I need to take a deep breath with that. It would be the very last gig that I had, which was the album release party for
Oh, yeah.
Wildness of Living and Dying. It was at the Parkway Theater here in Minneapolis. It was just February 16th, like a month ago. The theater is beautiful. It's like historic. And my full band was there. So cello, violin, and all the amazing rhythm and Mae Simpson. I don't know if you've explored her yet, but she's a
Not yet.
rad blues Americana artist, and
Okay.
she she supported it in a stripped down duo way. And we did a cover of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain.
Oh,
And
cool.
we were just like, neither of us were playing instruments. The whole band just carried it. And we were just like dancing and like flailing. And yeah, my parents were there and like so many people
Oh,
were there. So that was like really a highlight of the career thus far. It just felt like a homecoming. And, I put out my last album in 2020 and nobody could come to the shows. They were
And
live
it's, yeah,
streamed. So like this was like, wow, it's time to do this now, even though it's a
yeah.
really crazy time. So yeah.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, in
yay.
2020, we all know what happened then. So,
Woo. And
okay.
I feel like
Go
we
ahead.
need I was just going to say, I feel like we need music now more than ever. So
Oh,
Oh,
that's,
absolutely.
yep.
totally.
Oh my gosh. And on that vein too, would you say are your influences?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many. And it's the core influences from back in the day, Tori Amos and Ani DeFranco.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, like the big ones. And then like the whole Lilith Fair scenario in the 90s, Jewel, Sarah McLachlan, Sean Colvin, like that whole like alternative. And I was really into like grungy, Juliana Hatfield, Belly, I already mentioned. Right now, I'm like super drawn to more electronic, like synth pop stuff, like Metric and Churches, and
Oh,
also
cool.
like really into Indian music. I love Anushka Shankar and Ravi Shankar and like mantras and kirtan stuff.
Very
So
cool.
yeah.
Very cool. So if you haven't had the chance, check out a band. We had a gentleman by the name of Matthew Hurd on our show. It's Herd, but he's in a band called Seafarers, and they have kind of that poppy sound. You have to check them
Cynthia?
out.
Cool. Seafarers, I will.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
what are you currently playing on repeat?
Oh my gosh. On repeat, what am I? Let me look. I,
You can cheat.
Yep,
this is
that's
what I
right.
know I'm cheating. This is what happens in the morning. I wake up and I have like a song in my head. Today it was Alison Krauss, Down to the River to
Oh,
Pray.
love
Oh,
her.
Um,
nice.
I
I woke
know.
up with Pink Pony Girls in my head, so there you
Yeah.
go.
I woke up with the Avett
It won't
Brothers in
go
my
away.
head. Hence the
Nice.
Avett Brothers.
See, this is like, and then it's like follow that flow. What is all that? Oh my gosh, what is on repeat right now? That is really hard. Hold on. Hold on. It is Sid Sriram. So
Okay.
he's an Indian artist.
I'll write it down.
He is a Bollywood singer,
Oh, wow.
but he somehow connected with Bon Iver, and they made
Oh,
like
Cool.
this beautiful, beautiful album that's like pop indie with like his like
I'm gonna go
incredible
listen.
singing. Please look him up. Sid Sriram, Srimam. Yeah, he's like
Okay.
waves right now. Yeah.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. I was like, oh, it's those questions are so hard for me on the spot. But yeah, there are things on repeat. Yeah.
that is why we edit. You're all good.
Yes,
Awesome.
that's
Thank
right. That's right.
you.
Okay, what advice would you give to new songwriters and or musicians?
I would say do your best to know that your expression is unique and one of a kind. Because comparison is just an absolute energy suck. And while it is good to like be aware of your peers and people in your genre and like see what they're doing, the like comparison and jealousy is just like a time suck and will just like hurt your heart. So
Mm.
like everything you can do to like trust that your expression is unique, and if you feel compelled that there's something that you need to say, then like really follow that thread. And like I put my first album out in the year 2000 and
Love
it's
it.
2025 right now. And so 25 years. So I think also perseverance and consistency, which so many people like. I played maybe it was a show in Omaha where I'm playing in the back of wherever, and this man was like, I used to be a songwriter, but I gave it up to become a dentist because it's so hard. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. How's the mouse? Like, but like, I don't know. It's like I'm very lucky in that I've been able to somehow do a bunch of other hustles too. It's not an easy, it
No.
can be soul sucking, but yeah, perseverance and consistency and trusting that you have a unique voice. So I guess that's three things.
That's
That's awesome.
perfect.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
And now it is time for your shameless plug. Where can we find your music? Where can we, do you have a website? Are you on Bandcamp? All that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, my website is like the main hub. I used to have a blog on there. I should bring that back, but marybue.com. I got my name. And
Yay.
yes, I know it's so hard with these domains. And then I have a Patreon and I'm very active on that. I put a song download about every week and I give like a story about it. And then I also do teach yoga and record yoga classes. And so there's like hundreds of yoga classes on there. A very, very inexpensive yoga subscription on my Patreon.
I love it.
Sing at the end of yoga classes too. And then Bandcamp and all of the streaming, everything's almost on there.
Very cool. Are you on social media too?
Yes, I'm like mostly active on Instagram
Okay.
and I do have Facebook and yeah, we'll just say
You don't even
both.
have to, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
Yeah,
Instagram.
and but the thing is, like, how long is that going to be around? So sign up for my mailing list. How about
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
yeah, Instagram, that's like I like the reels.
Yep.
I like the
I don't know.
stories.
I think it's the easiest one to use personally.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yep.
together.
Same.
So,
Yep.
yep. All right. Well, thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Thank
This has
you
been so
both.
fun.
So fun. I love talking to you too. We have a lot in common.